Well, there's definitely no smoke and mirrors there. So I would like to welcome you also to WWBIC's annual luncheon, and thank you for all being here today on Veterans Day. It's actually National Philanthropy Day. Wow. But we're gathered here today specifically to share and to promote and to truly celebrate economic impact. I'm Wendy Bauman, the president of WWBIC, and I'm here with John Gaines, the vice president of Finance and Business Services, and two special individuals that would like to also welcome you today before we have the first part of our program. The first is Eric Ness. He's the state director for the state of Wisconsin for SBA, with a special welcome to our vets today. And then we have the CEO of the city of Milwaukee, Mayor Tom Barrett, celebrating along with us the mayor and the city's first Entrepreneurship Week. So first a word from Eric and Mayor Barrett.
Well, thank you and welcome. And first, I want to thank all the veterans for their services. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for our freedom. Of course, WWBIC is a women's small business center from the SBA, also a SBA microlender, and also an SBA community advantage lender. And guess what? They won awards in all those categories this year. And they've done more microloans and more community advantage lenders than any of their peers. So, and you could see those today. At SBA, we are trying to make our access to capital even better, especially for veterans. This year, we're still going to have our no fees for loans up to $150,000. And for veterans, no upfront fees for express loans up to $350,000. And new this year, for veterans and their spouses, you can borrow up to $5 million on a regular SBA 7A loan and have your fees reduced by 50%. So a huge savings. Again, thank you to all of our veterans on this Veterans Day, and congratulations to WWBIC and all these great small businesses.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Tom Barrett, and I'm pleased to be here this afternoon as well. And I also want to thank all the veterans for securing our liberty and freedom here in the United States. As Wendy mentioned, this is our first Mayor's Entrepreneurship Week, and we've done that because I see the power of entrepreneurs in our community. I see it on a daily basis, and I think what we just saw with this parade of stars tells you that we've got some great entrepreneurs right here in southeastern Wisconsin. But I want to share a quick story with you, and I hope you don't accuse me of being a braggart when I tell you this story, but it's really about one of the most famous entrepreneurs of our generation, and that's Stephen Jobs. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Stephen Jobs, who of course created Apple and Pixar, but some of you may not know that there are amazing similarities between Stephen Jobs and moi. And specifically, and I just read his biography not long ago, and it's a compelling story for anybody who's ever interested in starting a business, just to see how driven he is and how he achieved the successes he did. But the similarities that we share are quite remarkable. First, his biological parents met at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. I'm sure some of you didn't know that. My biological parents met at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. He was conceived in Wisconsin in the 1950s. I was conceived in Wisconsin in the 1950s. He invented the iPad. I own an iPad. So you can see it's almost separated at birth, but I look at him and the successes he had and the belief he had in himself, and it really does set an example for all of us. But you don't have to go to California to see that if you want to have a historic context. I live on Milwaukee's west side, and every day when I go to work, I come through Washington Park and go down Highland. And there are two small startups that are located right there on Highland. If you get to about 39th Street heading east, there's a place, it was an old garage where a couple of buddies and a friend, a couple of brothers and a friend started a little company, which is now Harley-Davidson, right there on 39th and Highland. And if you go directly across the street, there was a German immigrant who decided to start a little brewery, which of course is now Miller Coors. But the story there is, of course, you had entrepreneurs here in Milwaukee who believed in themselves, believed in their product, and became world iconic leaders. That can happen with many of the people who are here today. And my request to you is quite simple. What I want to see all these entrepreneurs and all of you who are entrepreneurs do is I want to see you create jobs, get rich, and stay in Milwaukee. That's what I'm asking. So if you could do that, then we're all winners. But I want to finally thank WWBIC for its incredible leadership. And I think you can see by the size of this crowd just how many businesses WWBIC has helped over the years. It is amazing. And they continue to be a strong partner to the city. They brought Kiva to us, and as part of our entrepreneurship, we're going to be doing some events with them later in the week. But I want to thank all of you for working with WWBIC and believing in yourselves. Let's move this community forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wendy. We're both thrilled to be here today to serve as your initial MCs, and hope you'll see, and you will see, and hear a lot more from our folks here today as well. We'd also like to thank and acknowledge our sponsors as well, our national and local partners, and also our media sponsors for today's luncheon, this year's luncheon as well. They're also, of course, listed on your agendas that you have at your tables, and also will be continually recognized again throughout our event, and also on our large screen agendas we have here as well. Again, thank you for support. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. We also want to give thanks again to our lead sponsor again this year, PNC Bank, and also our folks who came up today to do the welcome parade, as you saw them go across the screen here, and also our sponsors for the welcome parade, Associated Bank and Northern Trust as well. We'd also like to thank the many WWBIC clients we have here today. You've all heard from them, of course, through the welcome parade, and of course, those folks for WWBIC, those clients, are our heroes. That's very important to us as well. And of course, that's why they exist here today as well for us as well. So I'd say to you, my clients, as you've sat out in the crowd there, you've come across the screen here as well. Again, thank you. You've been providing true and real solutions, not just with the visions that you have in place, but also the value that you add and bring to our communities. And also, just as important, the jobs you bring too, throughout Wisconsin. So again, we all thank you for that as well. So thank you again. Last but not least, I'll say it's my honor to acknowledge our great WWBIC team, our staff, our board of directors, our Finance and Audit Committee, our Loan Committee, our advisor committees, which are based in Greater Milwaukee, South Central, Southeast, and also our rural advisory teams as well. So if you can, just take a couple of seconds, if you would, just kind of stand up in the crowd. If you would, please, just please stand. Please stand. Thank you. Thank you. Their hard work, their dedication, and their support really makes things happen. And we also work hard to put our hearts into the work we do, and the work is also in your hearts as well. So thank you. We also want to thank almost last, our VIPs, our many VIPs and elected officials we have here with us today, and policymakers as well. Again, you'll continue to be acknowledged on our screens. We want to again thank you as well. And if you could do me a favor too, please. Again, if you would also stand as well. Again, our VIPs, elected officials, policymakers. Please take a minute, stand, please. Please stand. Please stand. Again, thank you very much.